Hi everyone and welcome to Classic Gamer 74, episode 28, Electric Yo-Yo and Elk Attack. I'm your host, Anthony Ventrilo, and my name is Alligator. Although Electric Yo-Yo was a fun and very challenging strategy game, it didn't become an immediate success upon its release in 1982 by Taito. It took a few years before people began to notice this obscure game, and it developed a cult-like status. Well, let's check the game out and see what it's all about. Okay, so in this game, you are a yo-yo on a string, and you're trying to pick up these blocks. Now, you have these mean little monsters that are trying to stop you from doing it. Now, if you catch a block that's flashing, it can help make you indestructible for a short amount of time. Also, the longer your string is, the more points that you are able to get. Now, one thing you got to remember on this one is when you move pretty rapidly when you're going over the blocks. However, when there's dead air, it slows you down a little bit. So the best thing I've noticed on this game is to try to get as many blocks in a row as you can. Also, sometimes extending your string a little bit of a distance can help you get more done faster. Don't forget that it's all about points here. So, actually, that first level was not really good for points. Now, in this one, you have the potential to get a lot of points because you're able to extend your string a lot farther. So, anyway, as I said, this game was not really understood, I don't think, when it first came out. But as people gave it a try, maybe there was a long line for another game, they decided, well, let's give this here a try. People then finally began to notice, hey, this game's kind of fun. So, try it out for yourself sometime next time you're in an arcade, or if you happen to have MAME on your computer. Another thing I noticed is the levels go a little further there, you sometimes get more enemies. And another thing to keep in mind is that those little flashing squares, they move pretty quickly. So if you think you're about to get it, it might disappear and move somewhere else. So again, practice makes perfect, and I tell you what, this game is a lot of fun and really worth the time and energy that Anthony and I put into it. Oh, you're not kidding. I just really love this game. I wish I'd have played it as a kid, because I sure had a lot of fun playing it now. In 1987, a port of the game was planned for the Atari 2600, and Mark Hahn was the person who was to be the programmer. The working title of this port was not Electric Yo-Yo, but was actually called Elk Attack, and here is a fan's version of what the cartridge might have looked like. Alright, I got a question then. Sure. If the game was a port of an arcade game, yeah, why was it called Elk Attack? Well, nobody exactly knows. They think it was a joke title or a working title, and if the game had been released, it probably would have actually been called Electric Yo-Yo. Oh, so there ain't no elks in the game. Darn it. I love me the taste of an elk. Although most agree that the game was not actually completed, a working prototype of it has been dumped and is readily available to download. So, here is a copy of the cartridge that was created by another fan using the new unofficial name and the logo from the Electric Yo-Yo game. So, let's check it out. Alright, so this game is quite similar to the arcade game in a lot of respects. You're still a yo-yo with a string going around trying to catch all of these little squares. Some people say it's a lot like Pac-Man without the mazes. Oh, right. Yeah, that's a good point. I totally agree with that. You can see also that, the squares are a lot bigger than in the arcade, and when you click on when you grab one of the squares with a circle in it, you're able to be indestructible for a lot longer. And if you wonder if you're still indestructible, all you gotta listen to that is that loud sound there, and it lets you know that you're still indestructible. Another thing that's missing from this game is that weird springy monster. You got him gone, but you still got them little ones that come after you on the arcade game. Yep. But I'll tell you what, it's fun. I mean, I sat here and I played it till, I think I got to, level 25. Before I just finally said, all right, that's enough. Yeah, one of the biggest complaints I've heard about the prototype is that One way you can tell that it's not finished is because you really don't have a level select. So, I mean, you got this one level, that's pretty easy, and it really doesn't, get much more difficult. Right. I mean, it gets only a few variations, and then it just kind of starts repeating itself after a while. I mean, don't get me wrong, the levels do get a little more difficult. There's less of those special blocks later on, but, as far as like an expert level or an intermediate level, no, not really. And who knows what, had the game been actually finished, maybe that springy monster may have been put into it, or there probably would have been different level variations, but I'll tell you the truth, it's still a fun game. I mean, I really enjoyed playing it, and I'm sure, other people will too if they get a chance to try it out, so. Although the Atari port was never released and was pretty much forgotten, Electric Yo-Yo was released later on a compilation called Taito Legends for PlayStation 2 and the PC. Well, that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a big thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button down there if you haven't already. Yeah, and don't forget to click that little bell icon so you'll be notified when we upload new videos, as we tend to upload new episodes about every 3 to 4 days. If you have any suggestions of games that you think should be reviewed on here, or a genre of games, let us know in the comment section below, and who knows, maybe you'll find your idea on an episode at a later date. Also, don't forget to visit our friends AtariProtos.com, AtariAge.com, and MUParadise ME for all your classic gaming needs. This has been Anthony Ventrilo, and I am Alligator, and we will see you in the next episode. Until then, have a great day. Goodbye.